You guys know I got the Shudder. It's one of my it's really a lesser known streaming service, but it's starting to get pretty big though. But anyway, I found the Shudder original. I think it's a Shudder. It's a Shudder original. Brand new, came out 2025. I just got done watching it, and let me tell you, you need to watch this because I'll read the plot synopsis and we'll go from there. So, the college student Dina visits home and is roped into babysitting. The local sheriff is mailed a piece of evidence and is led on the scavenger hunt to reveal the killer of another babysitter. The babysitter that they killed was her younger sister. But, I like when I watch something and I'm trying to figure stuff out because these are just no name actors. I mean, we're talking like no name actors. And Shutter Shutter does a good job of bringing a lot of original content to life and going back into that time. This was, I think this was like a throwback to the 70s. You know what I mean? Because they didn't have cell phones. They had walkie talkies and they had wall phones and all that kind of stuff. But man, oh man. So I'm watching this thing, man, and it's only 93 minutes long, but I'm watching this and I was trying to figure out, the sheriff is trying to figure out who killed these two people. His wife died in a car accident, and then he's getting a babysitter for his boy because his boy's only like 6, and then he's the sheriff of the sheriff's station. He's the chief, and then the girl that was going to babysit his boy got sick, and then this chick, Dina, had to go take her place, and that's how this whole thing unfolds. But in the meantime, the chief is getting these little boxes, and these boxes are giving him these little hints about the killer. And he got these little VH tapes. This is when VH was JVC, had those JVC recorders. I had one of those, and you put the 8-track in there and you record stuff. So he's got all these recordings of these killings and stuff. So that's how this movie is wrapped up. But what really freaked me out was I was really glued to this thing because for a minute I was watching and I was sitting there saying to myself, I don't know, I don't know if I'm liking this, or I don't know if I could say I don't know if I was liking it. I don't know if I was like, I kept sitting there going, man, I hope this don't more or less drop the ball or something like that. But the more and more I kept watching, the more and more, I love when I sit and watch something, it makes me stay with it, and I'm watching and I'm watching. And like I said, these are no name actors, so they just look like regular Joes, And as the movie unfolds, I'm starting to get more and more into it, but I'm still going like this. Man, I'm trying to figure out, you know. And then, man, all of a sudden, man, there was a twist that got in there, and I said, whoa, wow, man, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. So there's a part where I was like, oh my goodness, man, the whole time I'm following this chick, Dina, she's the killer. I was like, what? She's the killer? Because it doesn't even look like she's the killer at all, right? So then I'm like, wow, man. I was like, dang, man, I didn't see that coming at all. I'm saying to myself. So then, as it unfolds, come find out the main protagonist, which is Dina, which is the main girl in the movie, she wasn't the killer. It was somebody else. But she started figuring out what these people that was killing was doing. And I think there was 3 of them that was involved. And so this is how the story unfolds. So then there's this chick that is she works for the sheriff department, but I think she's what you call those people that drives out and the park ranger. I think she's a park ranger or something. She was the one that was the killer. But when you watch the movie, you couldn't tell who the killer was. Because the ones that they said was the killer, obviously, you're saying to yourself, well, they're not the killer because they made it too easy because they was just too obviously being the killer. So, you're automatically throwing that out, right? So I threw out these two guys that was killer. Come find out they were part of the killing. So if you watch this movie, it's a trip because you're like, huh? And so uh, it just got a little intertwined and stuff. At the end of this movie, that's when this thing really takes off. But now, is it boring? No. You're just riding along and you're trying to figure out what's going on. It's an old school kind of like, it's an old school kind of movie. It's kind of like an old school type horror movie. But that's what I like about it. This movie it was directed by Brandon Christensen, and it's a Shudder original, and it came out this year. But I did not see a lot of stuff in here, coming. And I tell you what, that's what I like about it because I was, I didn't see a lot of stuff coming. I just literally got done watching it, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty slick. So this is called Night of the Reaper, and I guarantee you, some of you old school people out there that likes horror like this is your type of horror that came out. I say like 70s and early 80s, maybe. That's how they made this. It was like an old school horror 70 type movie. But man, there was some shots in here that just like, there was a part where this dude got his head blown off. I don't know how they did that. But it looked like he got his head blown off for real, man. And I was like, holy crap. And I was sitting there like that, and I said, oh, like that, because I didn't see it coming. Those parts I did not see coming. And that's why I like this movie. This is a really impressive movie for Shudder. Because Shudder has a knack of, because Shudder put out, The Clown in the Cornfield. I really enjoyed that if they could have did away with the LGBTQ plus stuff. They made sure they shoehorned that in there. But as far as the movie itself, there were some elements in there I didn't care for, but I love movies that got killer clowns in it. I don't like Art the Clown. I think those movies are terrible. Terrifier and all them, I just never could get in. I tried, everybody's talking about Terrifier, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check this out. And I was watching, I was like, huh? I just couldn't get into it. So I knew I wouldn't like that series. But a lot of people love Terrifier 1, 2, and 3, I guess. But Night of the Reaper. Yeah, it's a Shudder original. This is a Shudder original. See, this is what I'm talking about. Shudder, what's neat about Shudder started, there was just a small little app. They were only like $5 a month. And they just had a bunch of leftover horrors shows that they just put on their app, and as they got more subscribers, they started investing in trying to make some movies and stuff. But this is how far Shudder has come. This is why when you build a streaming service, you build the streaming service from the ground up, because that's how you build a streaming service from the ground up. You don't build a streaming service up like your big like your big, like some of your big studios that said, oh, we got all this content, we could just make a streaming service and we got this huge library of stuff on there and we can go from there. It's just not that easy. This is how you build a streaming service. This is a Shudder original. Night of the Reaper is very good, man. It's like I said, if you like old style, like 70 type slash movies, this got this in there, because like I said, there was no cell phones. There was wall phones, and there was just walkie-talkies being used. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, Night of the Reaper. I'm very happy that I like this movie, because when I watched the trailer, I kept sitting there going, I said to myself, I think I might like this movie, and then I kept watching it, and I'm really impressed with this movie. Like I said, this is a Shudder original. It came out in 2025, and it's 93 minutes long. So anyway, God bless and take care. Like I said, if you guys get a chance, check this out, or just put it on your list. Just put it on your list. Just say, there's this YouTuber that says this. There's this movie called. But just go in. Remember, you ain't gonna see no big, flashy Hollywood top production stuff. It's just a small company that's making these nice films for people like me that enjoy just a simple horror movie. And it's just a simple old school horror movie. Kind of remind me of some 70s horror, to be honest with you. But man, I think I'm happy. I'm happy because uh, I noticed when I watch movies, I noticed that my attention span is like very short. I mean, if you don't hook me right away and you drag a little bit here and there, then I just like, oh my god, I can't, I can't get into this. So, and then there's some that I actually got into, but I was like, maybe I was too antsy, maybe wanting to get going real fast instead of just really getting into the story. So, when I do that, sometimes I might miss out on a lot of stuff. So I have to say, okay, Vic, this, because I think with me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm used to moving around. I work 8 hours a day. I work out 4 days a week, you guys. I keep this house clean. I do laundry. I clean the kitty litter. I'm always doing something. I just worked out today. I fixed my dinner, and I'm always trying to watch what I eat. I always try to make sure I squeeze my Bible studies in and all that kind of stuff. So I got like a regimen. You know what I mean? So when I sit down, I really want to be entertained. I really want to be entertained to where I'm sitting down. I want to be drawn in. If I start sitting in a chair and I get a little restless and stuff like that, like, man, will you come on? Or I get frustrated because, God, this movie looked like it was going to be good, but it's kind of like not what I thought, and I hate that because I just don't like that, So anyway, I'm very pleased that I really, I'm very pleased at the fact that this is, that's why I got Shudder. Shudder is one of my favorite streaming services. Netflix, HBO Max, Shudder, Peacock, MGM Plus, they all my faves, man. They my faves. Do I turn them off every now and then? Yeah, I do. Sometimes I just turn them off. I don't watch them because I got over 500 something physical copies in this house. But not to mention the digitals I bought. But anyway, you guys, put this on your radar. It's called Night of the Reaper. Very interesting. I think you'll like it if you just got to give it a shot. God bless. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next video. We'll see you.